What's up, YouTube? This is the Obtuse angle here. Just here to talk about the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, before I get into that, my background is I am a teacher. I actually teach kids. And looked at Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, my past is I'm a big movie fan and big 80s movie fan and big 80s music fan and a big comic book fan from the 90s. I don't read too much today, right? So, but I hear things here and there. I hear things from internet. I hear things from friends. I read things. And Amazing Spider-Man 2 right off the bat, it's not a bad movie. No, I see people post that it's a terrible movie, which is not. It just isn't. People are expecting dark, brooding heroes, I guess, now, ever since The Dark Knight. Remember, before The Dark Knight, people didn't watch Batman Begins. It didn't do too well. DC, Warner Bros. Was thinking of canceling it. But because of, put it bluntly, Heath Ledger died. You know, I love women, and I love people who wouldn't normally see a superhero movie, saw it and liked it. Now, let's go to a Spider-Man 1, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and even Spider-Man 2 from Tobey Maguire. Now, they were all good movies, but I think what has changed okay, the internet is made up of people with different intelligences, different ages. That's where the problem comes in, I think, with movie reviews. A lot of people who make reviews are taking reviews based on other people's opinions on what to read. A lot of people's education are different on the internet. You don't know if you're dealing with somebody who's a teenager, a kid, somebody who never graduated high school. But everybody has an opinion. But the problem with their opinions, yes, no opinion could be wrong technically, but opinions should be educated. I find a lot of times with people's opinions, they say, oh, it sucks, but they never give a reason why it sucks. But if they do give a reason why it sucks, see, I'm going to contradict myself here now. They do give a reason why it sucks. It's because of they'll take in somebody else's or their friend's opinion why it sucks. It's not their own. I find a lot of times when I read, before I continue, see, you can tell by a person about if they're taking somebody else's opinion by the sentence structure and the wordings that they use. So if you have 50 people and you know 35 of them have similar structure and similar type of wordings, you can make a sound judgment that they read the same source, and from that same source they're basically stealing somebody else's opinion. I would say people always like what the person next to them likes. So with Amazing Spider-Man 2, it was a great comic book movie. See, people don't understand. Oh, this is my opinion now, right? Comic book movies, it should be fun. You know, it should be like, wow, did that just happen? Or that was kind of corny. That's what comic book films are. But it seems like the new generation of people, especially on the internet, I'm thinking the 20 or younger, they don't really understand what comic book movies are. I'll give you an example, and I know people hate this. It's Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. Were they bad movies? Absolutely. But they were so fun to watch because you cannot believe that just occurred. You know, no, people dislike Batman and Robin, right? But what I find a lot, again, they're stealing other people's opinions. So somebody says the movie was bad, they're using that opinion rather than actually watching the movie. And people will dismiss it after 5 minutes. But if you watch the movie for what it is, it's like, it's so fantastic. You can't believe that's in the movie. Fantastically bad, you know, but it's very watchable. That's important. How watchable is the movie? Batman and Robin is a very watchable movie. It's very fun, you know. It's not good. Don't confuse fun with good sometimes, you know. It's fun. And you can sit down there and watch it. Now, that brings me to Amazing Spider-Man 2. It is not as good as Captain America Winter Soldier. It's not as good as X-Men, Days of Future Past, or Guardians of the Galaxy. But what Spider-Man did was take a lot of risks. They did things differently, and you gotta applaud that. You know, to try different things with Spider-Man. Give Sony credit. Well, one of the small things that doesn't really have to do with the movie plot, but they gave him a different looking costume, which is pretty big in the comic book sense. They took risks. You know, it's a shame that people don't appreciate their risks, because everybody believes they're smart. But again, when you read people's posts and they never back up their opinions, you pretty much know that they aren't too bright or they're too young. You know, a lot of people just want to give an opinion, but they never give critical thinking, never critical think, give a statement that makes you think, you know, because a lot of them are copying someone else's opinion. They heard from their friend, oh, Spider-Man 2 didn't have this, oh, it must suck. No, it does not suck. You guys just haven't formed a well-structured critical opinion because of education level, and that's gonna come off really terrible because people hate hearing that stuff. People hate hearing criticisms of themselves, you know. But that's how you learn to become smarter. Now, Andrew Garfield and Spider-Man 2 did a great job. I actually hated Spider-Man 1. I thought it was a terrible movie. I remember a lot of people saying it was really good also. A lot of these people who make reviews were saying the exact same thing. And then a few months later, they completely changed their opinions. You're allowed to change your opinions, but you can tell a lot of people change their opinions based on people around them, what they said, you know. A big example would be Siskel and Ebert. I think when The Empire Strikes Back first dropped, I think they gave it thumbs down. But after they heard other people's opinions, they quickly revised and gave it thumbs up. So, no. Is Amazing Spider-Man 2 a perfect movie? Absolutely not, but it's a fun comic book movie. It had corny lines. The one problem I did have, and I did not mind the love scene between Emma Stone and Garfield, because they're both such talented actors and actresses. Actor and actress. Now, the one part I hated was the bridge scene, because it was like, oh, you're Spider-Man, and then you're like, you put yourself in jeopardy by making the web, and it was corny, a little too corny, even though I said corniness is good. But otherwise, everything else was solid. I mean, I like the kind of other love scenes because it's very comic booky, it's very tongue-in-cheek. You know, that's what's missing from comic book movies now, tongue-in-cheek. You do find them little spurts, right? But now the audience has, how do I put this? They now have come to believe that every comic book hero should be dark and brooding. They should have a dark and brooding past. They shouldn't be fun and lovable. And, well, they should be fun and lovable. It's called the Hulk. Even though the Hulk should be the meanest guy around. And just to touch upon that, see, the perfect Hulk was a 70s version of the Hulk. You know, it's about this guy, Bruce, or David Banner, whatever you consider him, trying to get rid of the Hulk. You know, he thinks the Hulk is a bad person, when the Hulk is just an innocent human being. But it seems like, just touching upon the Avengers, they don't know how to handle the Hulk. So in Avengers, they've taken the Hulk and essentially made him a joke character, a CGI'd joke character. With that said, let's push that out of the way. Touching upon that. So, Amazing Spider-Man 2, it featured Dehan. His name skips me. It's not Daniel, it's Danny Dehan, I guess. He did a great job with the Goblin. If I were to nitpick, they needed more scenes between Harry and Peter building up their friendship. I felt like Sony tried to rush it just so they can pump out the Sinister Six scenes at the end to set up the whole Sinister Six movies, which I was looking forward to. My God, they were taking risks, and I wanted those risks to be taken. But it seems fans didn't appreciate, and I like the character of Electro. I like Jamie Foxx's spin of Electro. It was fun. It was like Electro is kind of like one of those villains that you kind of like, I understand why he's a villain, you know? He was like a funny villain, you know, and that's really nice to see in comic books. He reminded me of, like, remember when the Scarecrow first appeared in the is it Batman Begins? The Dark Knight. I mean, in Batman Begins. He was a serious scarecrow and he would be feared, but then it towards the last scene, spoilers guys, he changed and became kind of like this funny character, and then I think in the movie after he became a worshipper of Batman, and it's fantastic. That's a nice alternate way to handle a villain. Not every villain needs to be serious, you know. Not everything, like there was a show used to be called Heroes, right? I'm sure you guys know it. There's this thing where my friend wants to. This is my friend now, right? I'm referencing my friend's opinion. People should learn to do that instead of stealing people's other opinions and use it for their own. He says that you can't beat New York. You know, once you save New York, you know, it's like you can't beat that. You know, it's so grand. It's like, well, what else can you do? Save New York, save the world, I guess. You know, but it's kind of like superhero film. Not everything needs to be end of the world to be good. You know, end of the universe. You know, it was handled very nicely. Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's just about. It's about a villain who's just he's having a bad day, and then nobody respects him and nobody recognizes him, and he just snaps. Perfect. That's what villains do, you know. I'm a big fan of like stories from like the sci-fi era, like 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s. You know, there's great sci-fi films. I find a lot of people who make comments on films have never seen Alien, never seen Aliens, never seen Predator. They're such phonies. I read this stat. This was like years ago. And I wish I had the exact source, but I don't. But there was this a stat or survey done in the UK about what movie you guys have never seen, but you lie about to your friends when asked about. I think the number one movie people have never seen, but they pretended to, was The Godfather, or The Godfather trilogy. But again, it's kind of like people make comments on movies. How do you make a comment when you've never seen Aliens? Or hell, you've never even seen Superman 2. You know, I consider Superman 2 one of the best hero movies of all time, and modern people now, they've probably never seen it. And if they do now, they probably wouldn't understand why it's good. See, comic book films need coins. It needs cheesiness. You know, that's what Superman 2 had, and that's what comic movies are losing, you know, because it started with The Dark Knight. You know, it started with that. Everybody wants to copy each other, and people copy, you know, Hollywood copies other movies. Hollywood's just been recycling 80s movies. You know, people are recycling other people's opinions. You know, that's what people do, you know. When you don't have the proper education, you don't critical think. When you don't critical think, how do you defend yourself? You're going to copy somebody else's work, you know, their posts, their ideas, because you can't structure your own. You know, as a teacher, I deal with this. You know, I understand this. I understand kids. I actually have friends who do this, and they're grown men, you know, and I shake my head, and I'm like, oh man, I do feel sorry for them. They should have put the work in school, but they didn't, you know. But, well, that's my opinion on Spider-Man 2. Hope you guys liked it. If you didn't, you know, hope you guys give a reason why not. You know, Spider-Man 2, I think I would love to see more Dehan and Garfield interaction. That would have been really nice to see. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. I also, I loved the ending. I loved the ending. I love, Gwen Stacy dying. I didn't think they would have the guts to. So far in all the movies, we've had superhero movies, there's been no meaningful death. You know, it's like, you know, Gwen Stacy dying would mean something. You know, that would have meant a lot. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever see Amazing Spider-Man 3. We should. You know, Garfield should return. It's a shame that Marvel and Disney are burning Andrew Garfield, who did a great job as Spider-Man. It's such a shame that fans are so happy to have Spidey meet Captain America. Oh yes, life-changing, you know. It's not. You know, it's not life-changing. You should want each studio. It's great that Sony has a vision. It's great that Marvel has a vision. You know, it's great that Warner Bros. Has a vision. You know, you don't want everything to be like each other. You want different visions, different perspectives. You know, one of the things I read about George Lucas, for example, right? The reason the new prequel sucks, because basically George Lucas was the one in charge, and he was the main man. And back in the original Star Wars, he's having input from different people. you know, even outside sources. You know, he's having different input, and then the new movie prequels kind of bombed because he was using his own input. You know, you gotta take people's advice, think about it constructively, and then hey, that might be a good idea. Oh, it might not be. You know, so yeah, Garfield's being burned, and I can't believe the amount of fans are sitting there and they don't care. All they care about is Spider-Man's going to meet the Avengers. Yes, yes, you're going to meet the Avengers. Oh, yes. You know, and you kind of shake your head when you read these comments and you listen to people, and it's just like, ain't too bright. Like a perfect example, I was a big wrestling fan, like most of us in the 90s, most guys in the 90s were big wrestling fans, right? And I remember a lot of people going ecstatic when the WWF back then, or WWE, we don't call it now, took over WCW. They were so ecstatic. Oh yes. What people don't understand is you had one choice. You know, you had one, before you had two choices where to push each other. But when WWF was the only brand around, also innovation died and the wrestling business became smaller. The comic book industry has actually become a lot smaller. Well, it's taken up because of movies now. But comic books actually struggle now. You know, the audience does not read comic books. That's another thing. People pretend like they know these comic book characters. One of the things I like doing is collecting action figures. You know, and I remember, coming up, there's this character being released this year called Batroc, right? In the 90s, who the heck was nobody knew who Batroc was, okay? Batroc didn't exist. But I think he was in Captain America 2, and I think he was in some cartoon, right? I don't watch either. But based on that, people act like, when you read these posts, act like they knew who these characters are. And it's just like, you know, that same thing I told you guys about how people pretend to see The Godfather. So people are pretending that they always loved Batroc, they always knew Batroc, and they're lying. People are liars. That's what they are. You know, they always want to be the guy on the edge, be the first guy to say this, say that, but they never cite the sources where they got their opinions from. Because a lot of people, I'm telling you, like, I would gather, since I'm a teacher, I would say about 80% of people take other people's opinions, take other people's ideas, and never construct their own. That's the evaluation in my head that I give. You know, because education is very important to form your own ideas and ideals. Some people actually are educated but aren't smart. Educated just means you repeat other people's ideas, but you become smart. You take the ideas and you form your own opinions, put in your own words. So, I am slightly upset when I see people badmouth Amazing Spider-Man 2, because it was actually a good movie. It was well acted, the daring things, and I loved the way it ended. Beyond Gwen Stacy, I loved it ended with the Rhino and Spider-Man leaping at the Rhino, and the movie cuts off. That's how you end the movie. You know, that's fantastic. It was different. You know, it was great. But when you read these people badmouth, I sometimes go to message boards, I go to different places, you know, interact with people, and it's bull. The disliking of Amazing Spider-Man is not warranted. People don't understand what comic book movies are anymore. What they used to be, what they should be. No, I mean, I remember some of them used to be bad. A Captain America from like the 79, they were bad, but you know, but then they became better. You know, Superman 2 was fantastic. Yeah, Superman 1 was good, fantastic. Superman 3 and 4, they were bad, but you can find funness in them. You can find, oh, that's kind of funny. Oh, yeah, that's weird. You know, and yeah, you know, just for reference, I consider like Spider-Man 2 might be the best superhero movie of all time. It has enough cheesy lines, cheesiness, corniness, you know, it's well acted, you know, well done, you know, well done. Yeah, and that's my position there, where I come from, my school of thought. I'm a 90s guy, you know. It's a shame it looks like Garfield would not return. I mean, anything can happen, but it takes a big push on people, fans. But I think they're so enamored with just having Spidey interact with whoever in the Marvel verse, and they don't know what to ask for. Sometimes people don't know what to ask for. So I hope you guys enjoyed once again. Please rate, comment, subscribe if you like. I hope you enjoyed. That's it, guys. Take care. Have a pleasant day. Have a pleasant night. Bye. Subscribe. Peace out.